Hey everyone, and welcome. If you've ever felt like your badminton game is more about frantic running arounds than calm, calculated strategy, then you have absolutely come to the right place. Today, we're going to break down how you can transform all that chaos into cold, hard control. And I mean, this is what it looks like, right? Especially in doubles, it just seems like this whirlwind of pure athleticism. You've got smashes, dives, bodies hitting the floor. It's so easy to think it's all just about raw power and lightning-fast reflexes. But here's the secret. The best players aren't just reacting faster. They're actually anticipating better. They're playing a completely different game. So what's the first move? Where does all this structure and control even come from? It all starts right here, with your feet. Seriously. Before you can even think about what shot to play or how to trick your opponent, you have to be in the right place at the right time. And every single efficient move on that court is kicked off by one fundamental action. And that action is the split step. You got to think of this as the start button for every single move you make. It's this tiny little hop that you time to land just as your opponent is hitting the shuttle. It's not some huge jump, okay? It's all about quickly preloading your muscles so you're ready to spring in any direction. And this isn't just theory. The science totally backs it up. An NIH study showed just how huge a difference this makes. I mean, look at the comparison. Without a split step, you're flat-footed, you're starting from a dead stop, which means your first step is always going to be slower. But with it, you're using your body's own elastic energy to launch yourself. It's a massive, massive advantage from such a small movement. But here is the absolute key, and this quote from Badminton Central just nails it. The timing is everything. If you land your split step before your opponent even hits the shuttle, you're just guessing where it's going to go. The whole point is to land a split second after they've made contact, so you have the information. You're reacting to what's real, not just hoping you guess right. Okay, so your movement is now way more efficient. Perfect. Now let's build on that foundation and talk about court positioning, especially for doubles. This is where you and your partner stop just covering the court and start treating it like your own personal chessboard. In doubles, you've basically got two main formations. When you've put them under pressure and forced them to hit the shuttle up high, you get into an attacking front and back formation. The player in the back unloads smashes while the front player is there to kill off any weak replies at the net. But when you're the one who has to lift it, you switch to a defensive side-by-side formation. Your goal there is just to cover the court and survive the attack. Knowing when to switch is the absolute core of double strategy. So how do you actually switch between these? It's all about rotation. First off, you gotta talk. Simple calls save rallies. Second, let the shot you play decide the rotation. Don't fight it. And third, and this is a fantastic mental picture, imagine you and your partner are tied together with a short piece of string. When one of you moves up, the other has to move back to cover the space. You're a single unit. All right, with your footwork and positioning locked in, you finally earned the right to stop just reacting and start dictating the rally. This is where we get into the really fun stuff. The mind games, the tactics you can use to actually dismantle your opponent's game. This right here is where the real game begins. Once you have that solid foundation, you can stop worrying about just getting the shuttle back and start actively hunting for your opponent's weaknesses. You're not just playing anymore, you're problem solving on the fly. So let's take a super common scenario you see all over the badminton forums, playing against a much taller opponent. Their height and reach is a huge advantage, right? So what do? You attack everything that makes that height a disadvantage. You play low shots to make them bend over and over. You hit it right at their body to cramp them up. And one of the best tips is to push it to their backhand corner, because for a tall player, that big hip rotation is slow. You're turning their biggest weapon against them. And this brings up a really, really important point. The difference between smart deception and just showing off with a trick shot. Deception is all about winning the point. You make a smash look like a drop shot to wrong foot your opponent. The goal is purely strategic. A trick shot, that's for the highlight reel. You're giving up a higher percentage shot just to look flashy. One is a fundamental part of winning, the other is a gamble you'll probably lose. So, we've got the theory down: footwork, positioning, and strategy. But how do you actually get this stuff into your muscle memory so you're not thinking about it during a match? Well, that's where training with a real purpose comes in. Look, here's the hard truth. Just playing game after game after game isn't enough to really improve. You'll get better at the things you already do well, sure, but your weaknesses will always stay weaknesses. Deliberate, structured practice is the only way to build a complete game. So check this out. Here's a sample week that you can totally adapt. Notice how balanced it is. You're not just playing matches. You have dedicated days for the boring but crucial stuff, like footwork and strength training. Tuesday is about drills and conditioned games. That's where you play a match but with special rules, like you can only win the point with a net shot. It forces you to practice specific skills under pressure. Then, when you get to your matches on Saturday, you pick just one new tactic to focus on. That's how you turn this knowledge into an actual skill. So there you have it. The road from chaos to control is actually a pretty clear path. It's a pyramid, really. It all starts with your feet. Mastering your feet lets you own your position on the court, and only when you own your position can you finally start to play the mind game. A big, powerful smash, yeah, it looks impressive, it gets you noticed, but consistent, smart strategy, that's what gets you wins, that's what wins tournaments. So after all this, what's the one thing you're going to focus on the next time you step on that court?